top, we have the Go Cubs Go from the parade. And you know what, Peter, we'll just do the video, because I know the timing's off. Are y'all good with just singing along with the video? Okay, sorry, I was trying to catch you. But anyway, okay, so the deal is you've got your lyrics. So if you go, like, I don't know the words, you do know the words. They're right there. So they're in the seat in front of you. And so let's all stand up, and you're going to see the video from the parade. Yeah. All right, here we go. Little bit of talking, and then we'll all be singing.
All right, I want to introduce, we got a little song to sing. We're going to sing up here, the boys. I want to introduce a lifelong Cubs fan, a friend of mine, and an amazing country singer. Give it up for Brett Eldridge. Chicago, you ready to sing?
All right, so I grew up a huge Cub fan just like you all. If I wasn't a singer, I'd be right out there in the crowd with you. So, I've gone to so many games at Wrigley and heard people sing this song really loud. But I want this to be the loudest Go Cubs Go has ever been sang right here in Chicago.
Ready?
With the help from my boys back here. Y'all ready to sing?
Let's do this thing.
Here we go. Baseball season's underway, and you're ready for a brand new day. Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today, and they're singing, Go Cubs Go, Go Cubs Go. Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Go Cubs Go. Go Cubs Go! Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. They got the power and they got the speed to be the best in the National League. He said, well, this is how you and the Cubs are real. So come on down to Wrigley Field, and we're singing, Go Cubs Go! Go Cubs Go! Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Go Cubs Go! Go Cubs Go! Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Baseball time is here again. Yes it is, come on. Hey! You can catch it on WGN. Also stamp your feet and clap your hands. Chicago Cubs got the greatest fans. And we're singing, Go Cubs Go, Go Cubs Go. Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Go Cubs Go, Go Cubs Go. Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Everybody say, Go Cubs Go. Everybody come on. Go Cubs Go. Everybody. Hey Chicago, what do you say? Cubs go. Everybody! Go Cubs go. We will want to see everybody. Hey Chicago, what do you say? Cubs go. Go Cubs go. Go Cubs go. Hey Chicago, what do we say? Cubs go. Yeah! All right. It's you in that thing. All right. It's a big leap, man. All right. Very good.
Good morning, Cubs fans.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cubs fans.
Good morning. We got to say good morning.
Good
yes.
morning, Cubs fans.
Good morning, Jeff.
Welcome to Chicago. My name is Jeff Bibick. What a pleasure it is to see all of you here today on this beautiful Celebration Sunday. We are so blessed by your presence here today. Before we get started, just a quick reminder to turn off all of your electronic devices. And I believe we have a battery issue. Is that what we have here, perhaps? Let's switch. Why not? Please return off all of your electronic devices at this time. Everybody you need to talk to is already here. Each Sunday, we come together to celebrate our oneness with one another and with God. We welcome people of every culture, lifestyle, and creed. We honor the many paths to God, the many names for God, and the many ways in which we experience God. We are grateful for the presence of God within each of us and the expression of love, joy, and truth in our lives. Today, we join with people around the world in sharing Unity's daily word. And today's word is mentors. Mentoring enriches my spiritual journey. I am grateful for the coaches, teachers, and counselors who have mentored me on my spiritual path. By building a relationship of trust, modeling spiritual truth, and sharing open-heartedly from their own successes and struggles, these people have been instrumental in raising my consciousness. Mentorship enriches my mentor as well. Helping others helps me to clarify and reinforce my own spiritual lessons and beliefs. It also encourages me to be mindful that others are watching and listening to what I say and do. Spiritual mentorship is a precious gift that I can give to myself, whether I'm called to serve as a mentor or a mentee. When I am able and willing to serve in both roles, I find myself doubly blessed on my spiritual path. And from Proverbs, let the wise also hear and gain in learning. For your daily serenity moment, we encourage you to pick up the daily word. We've got some available here. They're downstairs with Michael at the information desk. And thanks to your interest in our own copies, we are increasing our subscription for the next month. And so now the November and December Daily Word is available downstairs. All right. Let us move along by introducing our very own Reverend Heidi.
All right, so you'll be hearing a lot of cheesy organ music today. Oh, yes, I turned this off because I always, yes. Did you all see the Cubs on Saturday Night Live last night? It's a good thing those guys can play baseball because they can't sing worth a damn. Oh, my gosh. So anyway, but I'm always concerned my voice is going to sound like that, and that's why I turn off my mic all the time. So anyway, I'm all tangled up here. Okay, I'm just going to put this here for a minute. Okay, so yay, isn't this amazing to bond as a community and feel this sense of waiting and waiting and waiting, and then all of a sudden something breaks through? It's kind of like when they had the last out with the World Series I wanted to go, sponsored by the Big Leap Series at Unity in Chicago. Right? Because today we are going to weave together Jesus and baseball and the Big Leap. It's what I get to do. This is my job. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to use all that energy and I don't think any of y'all were out on the field playing, or maybe none of you know any of those players personally, but what you felt was your zone of genius. What you felt was the light of spirit, light of God, and within you. And I don't think you could have been anywhere around this city without feeling something. So let's just stir up that energy. So I invite you to close your outer eye and let's open our inner eye and breathe into this sense of something larger than a sense of failure or strife or problems or challenges. Perhaps just like the Cubs, the sense of a curse or the sense of a barrier was really in place to stir up that sense of overcoming, stir up that sense of bonding with others, stir up a sense of a team, just like we have here at Unity in Chicago. Interestingly, it is what every spiritual master is teaching us, to take the light off, the basket off our light, to let our light shine, to enjoy whatever one is doing. It's not about winning or losing, it's about being. It's about breathing, it's about appreciating. So we take a moment to just breathe in, to recognize you are alive on a radiantly beautiful day in Chicago. That there is a chair that's been sitting there waiting for you to come and rest in it. We rest into our greatness. And we let the energy of a sense of winning and overcoming be how we live our lives. Just being willing for things to feel that way. No matter what's going on the outside, we can always feel the sense of being valuable, being loved on the inside. So we breathe. breathe into holding the high watch for our service, for the joy, for any feeling that comes to you and through you. So if you repeat after me, I am. God is. We are. And all is well. And let's take a breath into that truth this moment. So thank you all for saying yes to being here today. It really is a wonderful sense of saying yes to your zone of genius. What we do every beginning of the month, number one, we have cake downstairs, so we'll show you the piece of the cake because it's kind of all lined up with the Cubs and all. Yeah, and so this is the November birthdays that we're celebrating, and my birthday's in November, so it's an especially fabulous month. But for those of you that are born in November, we'd like to give you a rose. We're going to sing you a song, and then in the place of names, we're going to say loved ones. All right, so if you're born in the month of November, if you'll stand up and let us give you a red rose, and I already got one. I'll try not to be greedy, but let's give everybody a hand here. And then we're going to sing happy birthday, and we're going to put loved ones in their name places, okay? So got a lot of birthdays, y'all. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear loved ones. Happy birthday to you. All right, another hand. So thanks for standing up. It's good to, say, here I am, and I was born, and life is good. And so we have a Cubs cake for you downstairs, and do let the birthday people go first. Hello. So we'll be downstairs, and everything you want downstairs, daily words, and all the other wonderful things. So, all right, so we're going to light this light because all this, stuff around wearing blue and getting together, and it's all wonderful, but really what gets us together is that sense of being inspired and being connected and all kind of being on whatever it is, the same team, but we're all on the team of the human being having the spiritual adventure. That's the team we're really on. So looking at this light, put your hand on your heart, and let's again breathe into the brilliance of being you, something in your life that brings you joy, either acting or singing or painting or having a pet or loving the Cubs or whatever it is. Generations of people that have loved you as you are here now, keeping your heart open. And say, I am the light of the world. Together, I am the light of the world. And I'd like you to look at your neighbor and say to them, you are the light of the world. They may not have heard that today. That's right. We're the light of the world. All right. And you are the light of the world. And then we send this energy out. So I just invite you to close your eyes and open your hands for a moment, because this is a particularly significant day. Not only have we, as we have a city, really connected in this sense of overcoming, we also really want to send this energy out to our this wonderful city, to our state, to our country, and all over the world in this big week of making a choice from your heart, of really selecting from that sense of inspiration and wisdom and wonder. And so we know the way we allow the world to change is by keeping our hearts open and keeping our minds free. So we say we are the light of the world, sending that energy out to all your brothers and sisters. Together, we are the light of the world, and we breathe in. And just so you are able to hear this and see it with one another, I'd like you to stand up and say to your fellow family, I see the genius in you. Very nice. All right. Somebody might have not have said that to you yet today, but I'm glad you've heard this. Okay, so we continue to really practice how it feels to really feel good about yourself, to let life feel like a winning experience all the time. And we've really won today because we have a lady with us that is sure to open your heart and allow you to recognize, just keep going. That's how life is. We just keep showing up. And so let us welcome Suzanne Palmer. We pray.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost in no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. I gotta hold my head up high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. No, it's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, you gotta keep going, 'cause I gotta be strong. I gotta keep on pushing on. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's a climb. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be a uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
Thank you, ladies, Gretchen and Suzanne. Oh my gosh, yes. And Bill and Sarah and Peter. Gosh, aren't we blessed? We're so blessed. We have won the World Series just by our musical team. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay. It's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be in Chicago. Yeah. It's always fun to have that moment like Wednesday night, right? Anybody go, wow! I mean, you look at the videos of people, they're screaming, they're falling over on the floor. I saw one guy fell on the floor and his dog's like, you okay? I mean, but that's why I had this song sung, right? Because it says, there's always going to be another mountain. I'm always going to want to make it move. Always going to be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm going to have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. It ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. It's the climb. So the 108 years were the fun part. You know, perhaps it wasn't, you know, if it hadn't been 108, we wouldn't have all these great stories. 108, you know, 108 stitches on a baseball, and 108, somebody said that Theo Epstein picked a card a few weeks ago in some raffle, and it said 1908, and 1908, and 108, and all of this synchronicity, and there's a lot of other things that you all know, since I, you know a lot about silent retreats and weddings, and not a whole lot about baseball. But wow, you know, it's about the climb. And it's interesting in life because you probably, like myself, I want to finish things. I want to get the award. I want to get the prize. I want to get the medal, the statue, whatever it is. And that's all fine and good, but then there's the next day. Then there's the next experience. There's the next breath. And so perhaps we set ourselves up with making it anything but the climb, but the journey, but the experience, but the big leap. See, that's why they didn't have this fish already in the bowl. You know, he's on his way, the big leap. Yeah. So it's interesting because it's really great to achieve, and to especially achieve in your zone of genius the things you love. But I want to prove to us today that what really happened to these ball players and to each and every one of us is that you're evolving in the experience of your life. That the things outside of you are really interesting dynamics that are helping you choose from a place of your zone of genius or something else. And when you choose from that place of maybe doubt, worry, fear, obligation, it'll always come back to teach you again. Oh, I love that, don't you? Like, why is this happening to me again? So it's the climb, it's the journey, it's the big leap. So many lessons in this experience. You know, so let's look at Scripture, since we're here at Unity and we metaphysically interpret our Bible, that Jesus said something very similar about this moving a mountain. He said, I tell you the truth, if you have faith and don't doubt, you can do things like this and much more. You can even say to a mountain, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. And Jesus was talking in metaphor all the time, but that was a mountain, right? That curse. I mean, I just got here 2.5 years ago, and that's all I heard about when people would bring up the Cubs. So I could give so the talk title I really thought would be the best for today. The best for today is, it's never about the goat. It's never about the goat. We may talk about the goat, we may talk about the problem, we may talk about the mountain, but that's really not what it's about. In the Big Leap, he says that we have a well-crafted, finely defined story that we tell over and over again about why we can't whatever, right? I can't talk about that. I can't achieve in that area. I can't, have that kind of a relationship. I can't be really happy on a regular basis. And that's the goat. That's the curse. And the poor goat, that goat didn't have anything to do with it. It just wanted to come hang out with its owner. And isn't it interesting how the goat is the symbol of this experience? And also, in the biblical times, the scapegoat is the animal onto which they put all the sins and then send him out of town. And so the scapegoat, the goat, is another interesting symbol in all this, amazing synchronicity that's going on with this teaching. But I hope that what you experience coming to unity is that you can see spirituality in everything. Because I was just blown away. I kept crying about this stuff. I turn on the parade, I'm like, and I'm thinking, what is going on? I've been a fan for, I'm sorry, maybe a couple months, right? But as Brian Fallon says, he said he comes for the tight white pants. I'm good, they're cute guys. But what kept me interested in this team, and I think it really spiritually is what keeps us all plugged in, is that there is a connection between these men. And it's the connection that inspires us. Because we've all seen athletes win awards and do great things, and they might not have brought this sense of integrity and spiritual connection. Anybody ever heard of Lance Armstrong? Right? Sadly, that man it was all about the trophy for him. Didn't care about lying and cheating and really cheating himself. And then when we hear about that, we don't feel that inspired, right? So you got some trophies, who cares, right? Because what matters is the climb, is the journey, is to keep showing up. This song, and even with the Cubs, how many of you all have gone to games of the Cubs where they didn't win? And was your life over? No, you put that blue shirt back on and you showed up again. I had mine on for 48 hours. It didn't smell so good. That's why I was going to wear it today. I'm like, it says, I'm tired. I'm like, all right. Bill Murray said when he was up in the bleachers in Cleveland that it really stunk up there because all the Cub fans had worn their same clothes for like days. So we do what we do. But Jesus said, if you have faith and you don't have doubt, and faith really is the sense of not so much they're going to win, but I like feeling connected to this experience. I like this feeling. So the chapter this week is called Living in Your Zone of Genius. And if I say anything often, when people say, what is unity? I say, unity is a way of life. Unity is a way of life. You can call it, I don't know what you really want to, I hate to even put a word out there, when people, it's, because the religions have really created big curses in the world. Curses like you're a sinner, or you have to follow this ritual to be okay. A lot of box stuff. And this is not what genius is about. It's not what spirituality is about. I see our people gardening out there. I'm like, they are doing their church. They are in it. And sometimes they'll ask me a question about something about unity. I think, did you plant that flower? Have you watched it grow? That your ministry right there, Yeah, you. Namaste. Give yourself the cross, whatever you got to do. But have a good time out there. So how do we just keep it about the climb and keep interested in this? What this chapter's about is he says it's about getting out of the box and into the spiral. I don't know if we have I don't know if she wrote that in a PowerPoint or not, but it's getting out of the box and into the spiral. So the box is a daily, oh, good for her. So the box is a daily, like that one I'm not going to do. That's not my spiral, not my zone of genius. But the idea is that the box is, this is, our family belief. This is my religious belief. This is what I keep running into. We had a great class on Wednesday night, except we didn't have it on Wednesday night. I just have to tell some stories about people, getting into the spiral. Because Tuesday night, I stayed up and watched this game, and then Wednesday, the first thing I thought Tuesday night when they won was that, we're not going to have a class. Come on, we can't have a class, because everybody needs to be putting their energy into this. And so I wake up, and I already have a text that is from one of the class members that says, "We are so not having a class tonight. I am going to be home supporting the Cubs winning to win the World Series." I'm like, okay. And then I open my email, and I get another email that says, the Cubs are breaking through their upper limit problem, and they're living in their zone of genius, and I got to be home watching this thing. I can't come to the class. I'm like, calm down. I'm about to send an email. Can't keep up with you guys. But the idea is that they were making their feeling nature their priority. And see, so when we did meet on Thursday night, and they were all in agreeing to come then, I said, tell me what all this symbolizes to you. Because see, whether the Cubs won or lost, your life would continue, as would theirs. I mean, 109 years, well, you know, it doesn't rhyme as well as celebrate, but, you know, 108 celebrate. But the deal is that we had to say, you know, what is it? So let's say you made a priority of the game. That's great. Are you making a priority out of living in your zone of genius? Because that's the real question. You know, is your life, I mean, we all can get distracted by sports and all that, but what's going on in your life? We had somebody else say, you know, I had to turn off the TV because when they had a tie game, I couldn't deal with it. I was too stressed. I turned it off. I just couldn't, you know, and I said, so are you afraid of failure? You know, are you dealing with something? And he is dealing with a big thing that he's, you know, dealing with a lot of, like, in fact, I think what he said is, if we lost, the whole city would have been devastated. I'm like, well, okay, right? But, you know, okay. Not really. I mean, yes and no, right? Because, I mean, we'd all get over it. Because, I mean, you guys have been going a long time without them winning. So the idea is, but you see that was coming from inside of him. And then somebody said, you know, some days I love the Cubs and some days I hate the Cubs. And I said, is this how your relationships work out too? You know, and I'm like, yeah, we can all get, you know, sometimes I feel good about it, sometimes I don't. But how can we use everything in life as a metaphor? Because it is. And it's never about the goat. It's never about the goat. All right, so let me just read a little bit of what he has to say about getting out of the box and getting into the spiral, and then we'll look at these fun guys. All right, so navigating the upward reaches of a spiral is different than navigating in a box. You know, we've all learned to sort of navigate in a box, and we agree with things like, oh yeah, it'd be too expensive to do that, or oh, I don't have enough time, or, you know, do you know how busy it is when you're taking care of kids, or do you know that I have a, you know, even like a sick relative, you know, these things that we've decided that is my whole life right now. And I can tell you, I've never talked to one person where that's true. There's always another idea. There's always a little bit of creativity that you have not thought about, and we need each other to say, could you get some help with that? You know, how could you make a little bit of time to live in that sense of connection? So he says, so it takes different skills than being in a box. Let's see here. I was right there. I was right with it. Okay, that's very, okay, oh, here we go. It took quite a few years of experimentation to refine those skills, but with time, I discovered a simple set of shortcuts that will make your learning time much more efficient. The first shortcut is to organize your inner operating system around what I call a central guiding intention. I'd say one of the central guiding intentions with the Cubs was everybody saying, go Cubs, go, right? That was the central guiding intention. The central guiding intention is a meta program I want you to install at the root or source of your being. I want you to store it alongside the other essential meta programs, such as relating to gravity, eating when you're hungry. Your central guiding intention will help you easily live in your zone of genius. The central guiding intention is for living in your zone of genius, and what we will practice is the ultimate success mantra. Okay, so I love that he says the central guiding intention is lined up with agreeing with gravity. Did anybody wake up this morning and go, I am so over this agreement I have with gravity. I am not going to do this anymore. I am finished. You know, we laugh at the hilarity of it, but we have agreed that gravity's happening, and we're good with it, right? You know, try to jump up and down. You can't break it. Yeah, so eating when you're hungry, or eating and allowing your body to be sustained. Anybody, you know, some days I think eating and cooking and all that takes too long, but I got to do it. And so I wonder if our spirituality could become that kind of intuitive, like I'm agreeing with this. I'm agreeing that there is something inside of me that's going to create a different world outside of me as I tune into it. So I have a mantra that we're going to practice. He calls it the ultimate success mantra. And it is a wonderful, I remember when I first read this book, I was saying it all the time, and then I drifted away, you know. I'm still dealing with my relationship with gravity. But I stopped saying this ultimate success mantra, and I'd like for us all to say it together. Put your hand on your heart as we say it, because it's really important to allow it to be something you're internally feeling, all right? So, I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire others to do the same. I should read it. As I inspire those around me to do the same. I will actually read it. Okay, here we go. Let's do it together. I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. Breathe in. All right. It's a really interesting phenomena to know that the only way you can truly help another person is by experiencing that sense of enthusiasm, wellness within yourself. That's why we probably didn't get together with a Indians fan to watch the game, right? Because there's this sense of when we're together. Now, I will say I have a very good friend that's the minister at Unity in Cleveland. Oh, and he is so much nicer than I am, much nicer. And he sent a text and he said, oh, Heidi, it's such an exciting night. Both cities, just really deserve to win. And I just, I bless everybody. And I'm like, oh, I am not feeling that. So I sent him back and I said, Dana, I just love you to death. And I really hope everyone has a great time. But I said, the team that should win should look like this. And I put a bunch of faces of Cubs. So and I'm like, and you can pray for me. But, so we're back and forth. And I'm like, and why do you guys, never mind, I think their emblem is not correct anyway. So yeah, I know. I'm like, why do you have this? I mean, here I'm just criticizing them just because I just feel like it. I'm just like, stop. But anyway, so my Joan of Genius was having really a great conversation with the people that were watching the game with me about how do we keep bonding with this sense of excitement, expanding our times of contentment. Now, this thing called a curse, it's been an interesting experience for the Cubs. These men are so young, they really are not playing with that story at all. But I always look to see what shifted. Because, next Sunday we're having our annual meeting, and we're constantly shifting as a community. We're looking at who are we? We've been together 30 years, Unity in Chicago. We've been in this building many years. And so what I'm saying is, it is uncomfortable to start talking about how to evolve and how to change. But I knew something had to happen, right? Because these guys, for a long time, the curse. So I looked, okay, so they had this new fella come in 5 years ago, Theo Epstein. And I'm always interested, where did this guy come from? Because he wasn't playing with the curse. In fact, he'd been with the Red Sox and took them to the World Series many years ago, and they had the curse of the Bambino. So I'm sort of like, what is up with this guy, right? Because I like to go to broken places and work things out. I'm like, okay, right? But see, the point is, what is going on with him? So I looked into his background, being the little FBI agent I am. But I looked into his background, and what we experienced was this man his grandfather and his great uncle won Academy Awards for the screenplay of Casablanca. Yes, and so he grew up with people that were creative, that were believing, an Academy Award, that was not so easy to get either. And to recognize that they were people that just did their thing, lived in their zone of genius. And his father is the head. He's created what is called the creative writing program at Boston University. And so his father's a novelist, Leslie Epstein, and a creative writing program at Boston University. His sister is a screenwriter. And so we just see that he came from a group of people that were all about creating, about genius. And so for him, a curse is, that's interesting. And I'm sure when he came here, he was the first one to say, it's not about the goat. It's not about the goat. How do we change our philosophy? How do we change these old stories And how do we get into a place of noticing when you run into your upper limit? We talked last week about benign vigilance. I think that was 2 weeks ago, to really pay attention. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm telling a story that isn't so good, like I'm, criticizing my dear friend in Cleveland, it's fun playing with it, but I kind of got to look at it like, what's happening here? Am I okay with everybody winning? Okay, maybe I want to grow into that, right? So how do we look at the places where we start to get in the box rather than be in the spiral? All right, so the first part of this is really recognizing how we evolve in whatever system we're in. I want to show a clip because there's so many great teachings in this, with this team, with the winning, with the people that were involved. I mean, it was interesting. I was watching this parade on TV. They were trying to they took a while to get the buses filled up or something, so they were just throwing in information. And they said Joe Madden, they said he stays really balanced, the coach. And then one of the lady announcers says, I figured out the secret to why Joe stays so balanced. And the other guy goes, what? And she says, meditation. And I'm like, I've never heard meditation on like the news. I'm like, whoa, and I'm just, that he meditates. And a lady just left the first service, and said, I work with the Cubs, and they all meditate as a team. And I'm like I said, sponsored by the Big Leap at Unity in Chicago. We have been doing this for a while now, guys. But the idea that this is perhaps why it's become so joyful and interesting and deep, and because these people, unlike Lance Armstrong, are really evolving as souls, and they lift everybody up because we're all connected to this energy. So I'd like you to recognize again how you're evolving through whatever you're going through, and I'm going to show a clip that was Anthony Rizzo's speech at the parade, because he not only talks about, I don't think he ever talks about, I'm such a great player. He talks about the gratitude he has for all these people and how he has changed as a person. So here we go.
I feel like I was here during the bad times, and I got so much into the culture of the Chicago Cubs that every single person that has worn this jersey, I feel like won the World Series with us today, or the other day. Dempster, Kerry Wood, Ernie Banks, who is looking down, smiling so bright right now. Billy Williams, Ronnie Sano. It's just every single player that's still living too has been a big reason we're here and a big part of this, and we thank them. And the last guy, well, two more. The families, the wives, the girlfriends, all the parents that are here, the sacrifice that they make for us all the time is unbelievable. Our schedules are so demanding, and without them supporting us, we're not standing here. Lastly, before I introduce him, I want to say a few words about him. The grandpa. Gramps and I sat down a few years ago in an off season before his last year with Boston. He was a free agent, and we just talked. And we have the same agency, and we're talking. And I say to my agent, I go, man, this is exactly what the Chicago Cubs need. He is exactly what we need to bring everything together. And obviously a lot of pieces came through with that, but he taught myself personally how to become a real winner. And woo, he's like a brother to me. He's taught me how to be. He's taught me a lot in life, on the field, off the field, how to be a better person. I'm forever grateful for him. And he's going out a champion forever. For the rest of his life, he could say the last game he played in, he's a world champion. Let's bring up David Ross.
Yeah, David. Okay, all right, okay. Breathe in. That's the zone of genius. That's the zone of genius. I'd like to say that probably when your genius is coming through, you're probably going to have some tears. I always say the heart opens and the eyes leak. And when we're breaking through a feeling of a curse or something being wrong with us or something being broken, that's what it looks like. So David Ross and his wisdom and his ability to know the game and know how to mentor inspired something in Anthony Rizzo that he hadn't experienced before. And I'd like to say that Anthony is certainly a great baseball player, but what Anthony is really becoming is a man that is in touch with how he feels and who he is on this planet. You know, we have this wonderful class, and you're welcome to come. We're going to do it for 2 more Thursday nights, but people are willing to get uncomfortable in that class. I'll speak anonymously, but there was a woman that really loves connecting with people and works with hospice and has a drive to work. And so we're talking about, and she was a little challenged with the drive, so we were talking about how to just stay excited about what you're doing in life and allow all these pieces that don't feel like they fit to what we've talked about with Zone of Genius, to let them dissolve rather than be solved. Because we see that Anthony, I don't know what happened with Anthony before he met David Ross, but you can tell there's some pain going on there as far as just being a person, a man that could connect, a man that could have some feelings. He's personally my favorite because he can cry, you know, but it's, and he can stretch. That guy does yoga. Ooh. But we see that Zone of Genius is always this stretch beyond your box. You're moving from a box to a spiral, when we get so clear about this is the way it is, this is the way it's going to be. And I always want to invite people, if there's a sense of angst and negativity, it's always something that wants to be released. You know, Anthony was releasing a sense of himself as, I don't know, not being as full, as whole as he wants to be. And because this man came into his life, he was able to expand. It was really interesting. I know, he had a mic on. I know y'all saw this. And during I guess when it was tied up or whatever, he's like, I'm so nervous. I just can't deal with this. Oh my gosh. I'm like, this is a grown man. I love it. And then, here's David going, it's cool. It's fine, and just the ability to be vulnerable, the ability to say, I don't have this all figured out, because no one does. But the genius comes in us being there for each other. The guys can't sing worth anything, but they can certainly play baseball. But what they really did was bond in a way that was just extraordinary. And it allows us all to recognize what we bring out in each other, the zone of genius. So let's say our affirmation together, because we are expanding as we're sitting here in abundant success and love. So put your hand on your heart again, because it's a great place to live. All right, so I expand in abundant success and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. And we breathe in. All right. So the next part of living in your zone of genius, of making it not about the goat, is to practice your enlightened no. But you can come up anytime, Gretchen, because I love you being part of anything I do. So that's a yes. But we want to practice the enlightened no. Has anybody ever heard no is a complete sentence? Okay, but do we skirt around no a lot? It's kind of like when I want to do my backhand, when I skirt around my backhand because I don't feel that good about it. So, but that never works. If I would do my backhand, it would become better. So the opportunity is that we need to practice no, especially with things that don't feel like they are in our zone of genius. Gay Hendricks talks about a phone call that he got that somebody was offering him $50,000 to endorse a product. And he said the product was fine, but as he thought about it, it just didn't feel like something he really wanted to do. So he talked to his wife. He said, there's these people, $50,000, that want me to endorse this product, but I feel sort of, I don't know, what about it? And she said, are you living in your zone of genius? Does it feel like you're living in your zone of genius? And he said, well, the $50,000 does. And she said, yes, but the zone of genius is not about a thing. Like I said, it's not about a trophy. It's not about an amount of money. It's about an ability to be honest with yourself. And I wonder how many of us say yes to things maybe out of obligation, maybe out of a sense of I should, or some kind of sense of this is better than nothing. I've heard people say they go out there and date and they go, as long as that person has a heartbeat, I'm like, ooh, not good, right? We want it to be, raise your bar, and be able to practice saying no. It may also be a sense of being paid something that you're worth more. Talking about money can be really uncomfortable for people, so we can say yes to things that don't feel good. And Peter shared a story with me that that someone had offered him a gig for which he wasn't getting paid what he wanted. So he said, I knew if I said yes to that, I'd be resentful going, I'd be resentful being there, I'd be resentful at the person. So he said an enlightened no. No, thank you. This doesn't really, this isn't the amount of money that feels like it honors what I do. And he said that was the win. That was the win. It wasn't the, I hope I explained it well or anything like that. It was the win of his honoring his zone of genius. And then soon, another gig came to be that paid what he felt was lined up with his zone of genius. So let's give Peter a hand. Yeah, right? I know, bravo, right? Because how easy is it? I know when I went to a boss, I was working with a counselor, I think I told you, and I went to this boss, and I really needed to make more money. It was what this job was supposed to be, and I wasn't making it. And he said to me, my counselor said, Heidi, you're going to have to ask for an amount of money that's going to be uncomfortable for you. I'm like, well, I didn't want that. And he said, yeah, because if not, you're not honoring your zone of genius. So where do you need to say no? Because when you say no to that which is not true for you, you create space for that which is. Peter's a great idea. These people contacted Gay later and he said, I'm writing a book about the zone of genius. I don't have time to be endorsing this product. And they wrote him back and said, thank you for explaining that. We want you, when you finish your book, to come in and do a workshop for our executives on your book. So you see, your no is always going to allow a much more true yes. Jesus, you can move that mountain. If we believe enough, anything can happen. We are not in charge of the timing, but we are in charge of creating the space for it. All right? The Cubs were meditating, just saying. All right, so we know that the next third part of this chapter this week is to recommit. That as you're saying this affirmation, you're going to hear all kinds of things like this, what is this going to do? Or this is silly, or I don't have time to do this, or you know what, I need to get back into those things I was worrying about. Somebody's waiting for me to call them, and it happens to me. And so how do we recommit to your mantra? And if your mantra is go Cubs go, and that keeps you in the flow of something exciting, say that. But the idea is that you are connected to something more true and to recommit to it. Now, it was a fascinating experience what happened at the end of the ninth inning. They had a rain delay, right? Anybody not know about this? They had a rain delay. And, for my neighbor who had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, he wasn't so excited. He's like, oh, now I'm going to fall asleep. I'm like, you can't fall asleep. This is the World Series. I only have been watching this team for 2 months, but come on. Come on. And, it's just, this idea that the rain delay for many people, what happens in your life when you hit a wall or something doesn't happen or the job you wanted didn't come through or the job you didn't really like in the first place ended or the relationship that didn't quite fit right ended or something happened with your body or something in the world or the Cubs lost like last year, right? So that's your rain delay. But as we know, that was the most important part of the win, that they got together, that they recommitted to knowing who they were. And they were led by a gentleman, Jason Hayward, right? And Jason, from what poor Peter, he's the other one I text, what's going on? And what's about a rain delay? And did they just hand out umbrellas? Or does this go on? Or is this tomorrow? I'm like, okay, Heidi, keep up. So this Hayward fellow that really, from what Peter tells me, didn't have the best year. Really had, was having some challenging times with his playing. And so you would think that he wasn't the one going, I'm the best player here, so I've got some advice. That wasn't the case at all. He said, with his teammates surrounding him, Hayward began to speak. A quiet man, Hayward preferred to let the other veterans be the vocal leaders in the clubhouse. So when he does speak, his words have gravity that command full attention. Benign attention, paying attention, right? And they needed this. I just wanted them to remember how good they are, how good we are, to know how proud of them I was and that I loved them. That meant, that I meant that from the bottom of my heart, that he looked around the room and he noticed that every single person that was there, whether it was an MVP player or a rookie or a veteran, that the Cubs as a team had gotten this far. They had everything they needed to win. Hayward said, so long as they believed in each other and played for one another. So we breathe into that recommitment, right? Because I think that your commitment might have been waning at that moment in the game. And there may be a commitment that is waning, often in your life when you start listening to all the voices that are, you can't, you won't, you never have. And I just invite you all to listen to that inspiration. We have a lady in the class that's inspired about healthy food. And when she starts talking about it, you can't get her to stop, right? But people do this and they don't realize that's her genius. It's coming through you. It's God speaking through you. It's your ability to not only feel inspired, but to touch other people. I really thought differently about how I was eating this week after hearing you. It really gets me, right? Because it's always that thing like Anthony Rizzo that makes you want to cry. It's like, this can't be valuable. It's too easy. It's always been what I've loved. I'm not going to make any money doing this. But that's not at all the question. The question is, how connected do I feel? How inspired do I feel? Because it's never about the goat. We all can move these mountains. And the only thing we have to do is just be willing to affirm the truth. Speak the truth and allow it to set you free. Know the truth and allow it to set you free. So let's read our abundance, our ultimate success mantra one more time. And put your hand on your heart and breathe into it from the standpoint of, I am ready to see what I want to see and heal what I want to heal. And so let us say our abundance and success mantra. I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I aspire others to do the same. Very good. So we breathe into that and know that it is in every one of us. So we are going to sing. It's in every one of us, 2 verses, and I just allow you. It does say open your eyes, but know if you want to keep your eyes closed, you're opening your inner eye. So let's sing together as we continue this great vibration.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, open your eyes and see. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now.
And so we breathe into this truth of the feeling of winning, the feeling of being a team, the feeling of overcoming. And say silently this beautiful mantra. I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. and know that you have all your answers. You are full of spirit and love, and there's not one cell in your body that has any lack at any level. So we just rest into our greatness. We let this music soothe us, and just remember anything we feel inside of us, anything that's been inspired by this wonderful game called baseball, where you always end up going home. Let's let that be the place where we rest. Be still and know. Anything that is in any of the Cubs, Jesus, Mother Teresa, your friends, your family, anyone you admire is in you. And you are, by divine inheritance, been given a gift. And the gift is to follow your heart. And know that that is the greatest ministry you have, and the only calling that is really important. And it's not about an outcome, it's about plugging in. So let it be easy, let it be sweet, and know that it is in you and in every one of us. So I invite you to take the hands of your spiritual family and let us sing 2 more verses of It's in Every One of Us.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, open your eyes and see. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now, here and now.
Let us open our hearts and our minds and affirm the genius that dwells within us. And in that divine space, I invite you to speak the names of all of those that you hold in your heart that are in need of prayer. And also I invite you to hold in prayer those whose names are on the screen behind you. We are your prayer chaplains today, Tom and Gabby, and I'm Jerry. And we invite any of you to come to us and bring whatever you have, not only your sadness, not only your health issues, but also your joys, because I'm sure that you're abundantly blessed within. So we're just outside the door to the right. So with that, I say, so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Jerry. Beautiful. Oh, do you want to come back up? You want it in Spanish. You guys come back up. We'll say it in Spanish. All right, so it is time for us to be in the genius of abundance, knowing that you are ever-flowing. It really is wonderful to think of yourself as that ever-flowing cup. So we give from that fullness. We love this place. We love coming together, and it has been supported for so many years by all of you. So go, God, go. Go, God, go. Hey, in Chicago, what do we say? Give in open heart today. We're going to start a song. I'm just saying. It's just a beginning right there. So that was genius eking through. So I invite you to put your hands together and just recognize that you give from appreciation. This place is a house really built with love, and it keeps needing a lot of love. We're fixing our elevator, and let's just see that done this week. And just know, you really give to a place that not only blesses you, but blesses so many people. So we say our conscious giving blessing together. Divine love richly flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for the blessings of this day. I am grateful for the blessings on the way. And we're going to sing Imagine, and I'd like for you to continue to imagine a world that works for all. All right?
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll find us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll find us, and the world will live as as one. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll find us, and the world will live as one.
Right, yes. So we want the world to live as one. We're going to thank our chaplains in just a moment. Well, we could just do it right this moment. All right, so I just want to tell you that these 3 out of 10 people, where, Joe, you get yourself right on up here. This is 4, yeah, we love to yell at our chaplains, that helps. Yes, so this is 4 of the 10 folks that went through our, I love you. I just want you to be up here on stage. And so this is 4 of 10 people that went through a weekend training to be chaplains. Are there 5? Are there 5? Oh, Patty's that was the facilitator. She's like old school with this stuff. But anyway, there were 4 of 10 that went through the weekend training, and now they're going to be your chaplains for the year. Just to let you know, these folks meet once a month. They're here every Sunday or alternate Sundays, that they are committed to their prayer life and to really inspire each and every one of us. They are living in their genius. And let's give them a hand, and I'm going to give them a flower so we can... Patty Pipia was the facilitator. So Patty, we're so glad you're with us. I mean, yeah, Patty just brings zany spirituality. I love it. So, yes. I know. I never talk to you without a good laugh. So, all right. So we are, let's see, here we go. And let's see, what we're doing today is downstairs, you can sign up for a wellness call. I have not experienced this yet at Unity in Chicago, but every other church where I've been, there are wellness calls where if you sign up, you will have a chaplain that calls you once a month. And Patty, do you have a mic? Or? Absolutely. No, who knows? Well, we're just, yes.
Okay, once a month, you sign up downstairs, they will call you, and if you answer the phone, they'll say, how can we pray with you this month? You might say health, peace, prosperity, relationships. And they will give you a quick prayer. And if you don't answer the phone, you know what happens? They leave you a quick prayer also that you can pray all month long.
Wow. Yeah. And 30 days it's here.
In 30 days, we pray for you here, and then we send it on to Silent Unity for another 30 days. So all of you should be prayed up, prospering in the best relationships you've ever had in your life, and success beyond measure, because you're all coming from your genius.
That's right. And to have relationships with these beautiful people, so you'll get to know them better, they can get to know you better. And so let's all stand, because we're going to give them a big blessing, and then we'll do our prayer. All right. So let's all stand up. And so we have Jerry Lang, Gabby Rivero, Tom Skinner, and Joe Nell. All right, so first of all, let's give them another hand. And then rub those hands of imagination together and let us send beautiful energy to these great souls. All right, so prayer chaplains, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you. And so it is, yes. And so I'm going to invite you to sit one more moment, because we are going to do something, because it's a very important week in our country, and we are all I'm going to hold hands with these guys, and you guys hold hands with who's next to you, and we're just going to have a wonderful prayer for our country. And so I just invite you to, again, and Linda, you may just scooch on over, just grab somebody, anybody. Yeah, there you go. All right. So we just breathe into genius, wisdom, light, love, this clear ability to choose from a sense of the knowingness of your heart, to know that we live in an extraordinary country, and it's an extraordinary because we're all here, because we live in a way that is honoring one another and honoring this sense of ability to choose and to vote and to be inspired and to allow that winner in you to see this country as winning and doing well, and just hold the high watch for yourself and for this beautiful nation. We get out of the red and the blue, and we get into the light of love, and whether that's white or pink or whatever color, but I'd like us to swirl that energy together in our wonderful sanctuary. Just allow yourself to see that swirl, and we swirl it here, and then we just let it swirl out into our city, the beautiful Chicagoans, and then into Illinois, and all over our country. Just allowing people to feel a sense of wellness and peace and courage and choice. And then we send that energy out across the seas to this beautiful world that's affected by each choice that we make. So we live from our genius, and we bless this country. And Patty is going to end our prayer.
And when we go to the polling booths, come from your hearts and not your heads or your egos. And ask yourself a question. Who would best serve in this White House and serve our country? But not just our country, but all countries, because we have relationships with other countries. Come from the divine light that you are, the Christ energy, and may it radiate from you and bless all that you come encounter with. And let us, dear God, get the right person in the White House to take the United States and the world to the next level of expression. Amen.
So it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, chaplains. Thanks for showing up. It's so great. So, all right. So, yes, we'll have some more cheesy organ music. We'll just wait. Yes, yes, yes. Because this is what we're celebrating. You wait. We'll be singing about peanuts and all kinds of things. So let's breathe in, and we bless these offerings. They've been given from generosity and love and gratitude and a big yes to your zone of genius around prosperity. So I expand in abundant success and love every day as I inspire others to do the same. And so it is. Thank you all so much. My gosh. All right, so just a couple of things. 10:30, next Sunday, we're having one service, 10:30. You're going to get to meet all those early morning people. Oh, gosh, they drive me crazy. But anyway, no, okay, so we're going to have one service at 9:30. So if you come at 11:30, you're going to miss all the fun. So mark your calendars, 10:30 next Sunday. Then we are going to have a chicken vegetarian lunch. Thank heavens for some of those chickens. We have vegetarians, yes. So anyway, downstairs there will be a lunch, and then we're going to have a 1 o'clock annual meeting where we are going to induct new board members. We have 5 places open and 5 candidates, so it's a beautiful thing, and you'll see their pictures downstairs, and I believe something's in the bulletin too. Have a wonderful new group of people that are going to be coming on. And let's see, so that's the annual meeting. The other thing we have is the Pay What You Can sale. So if you're clearing out your home for new energy, certainly if you want presents at Christmas, you better make some space for them. So you can bring things here for the next 2 weeks, and then we're having our sale on November the 20th. So that is a great time to be here. And let's see, no women's group this month because it's November the 8th, and I really want to allow everybody to have time to vote and hold the energy for the right and perfect leader. And let's see, I believe, I should have my sheet up here, but I don't think I do. All right, it's the last day to go on the cruise. We have 20-something people going. If you have any interest in going, it is your zone of genius. If you want to go, just say yes, it'll work out. But after today, there's an additional fee. So if you want to get out of here in January, just say, it'd be a good time. All right, like they say, seize the day. All right, SEAS. All right, very funny. We're on it. Okay, so I want to tell you about the flowers. They were here at the first service, but Nori Knezadick and Katie Mertens is their 13th wedding anniversary. So so we can give them a hand, and we have some pictures up there. They were laughing at their life preservers, but I've heard safety is sexy. So there you go. All right, so let me just read to you. Fern and DC and Peter and I got the flowers, but I know they're from everybody. It says, "You two make the world a better place by loving each other. From housing our minister," that would be me, for 7 months in her first home in Chicago when it was supposed to be a couple of weeks, to being the inspiration underneath so many inspirational unity gatherings, Taste of Unity, and all the things they've been involved with, and others. Our spiritual community is hugely blessed by you two. You know you were never alone with Katie's, "Hi!" Some people have decided to let that in. And Nori has a way of always making the crazy parts of life seem sane. You two are the shoulders we cry on and the laughter that heals our hearts. Your love touches us all. Not only are you celebrating Lucky 13, so are we. Our luck is having you all as forever friends. Love always, your Unity family. So give them a hand. Reach out to them. All right, and so here we go. Jeff Bibick, one of our new platformers. Here he is. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. What a pleasure it is to be back. Been gone a couple of months, and so great to be back and feel the energy once again. Thank you very much. For those of you who may be here for the first time, we'd like to say we're glad you joined us, and we'd like to hope you've enjoyed your time with us here today. We have a token of appreciation as a reminder of your time here. Anybody here for the first time, please raise your hand so we can find you. Hey, welcome. Thanks very much. Thank you. The people who are passing out the flowers are members of our welcome team. They have on the pink badges and can answer any questions you may have downstairs in the library. They'll be happy to greet you. Along with your flower, you'll be given a package of information about Unity in Chicago, and we hope that you fill out your yellow visitors sheet so we can be in touch with you in the future, find out more about you as well. We'd love to meet all of you. So just a quick couple of announcements. Remember to check our website, unitychicago.org, for the latest happenings and our business directory. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Stay in touch with us via our weekly email blast. If you're not receiving it, by all means, sign up downstairs at the base of the stairs. Just a couple of quick announcements. The Pet Ministry is here each Sunday with pets in need of forever and for foster homes. You can also help support them by buying something to eat downstairs. Normally, downstairs we have cake today, so Pet Ministry's not here, but they are here every Sunday with their treats downstairs, so please help support us and support them. This is the first Sunday of the month, which means pranic healing will be taking place today in the library at 1:15. All love offerings are generously donated to Unity in Chicago. Unity en Español está aquí a la 1:30 hoy en este sanctuario. Thank you. I made that up. I don't know what I'm saying. This is our new Spanish language service offered the first and third Sundays of the month. English interpreting is available. And now, please welcome back our good friend, Suzanne Palmer.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night skies or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, and just like them old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul? I won't give up, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you'll find. 'Cause even if the stars, they burn, some even fall to the earth, you've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make a difference that I can. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. But yeah, we got a lot at stake. In the end, you give me news. Tell my friend at least we're still in town and rest to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world keeping in. And what I got, what I got, and what I'm not. Who I am, and I won't give up on us, even if the skies are rough. Come sing along, that's what I was looking for. My love, still looking up. I won't give up on us. God knows I'm tough enough. We got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it. And I won't give up on us, even though the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
Wow, so we don't give up on the Cubs and we don't give up on us. All right, so we're going to close as many of you have for many. Oops, let's see. I know there's a lady named Mary. It was all about me. So anyway, let's all stand up and sing ourselves out of here as you have many, many moons with the "Take Me Out of the Ball Game." Oh my gosh, yes. All right. It's cheesy. Oh wait, let's see. Where's our organ? Yes, that's the deal. All right. So. You're so good at that. All right, so just remember the Cubs winning is all what's inside of you. We don't get excited unless it's going on inside of ourselves. So let's weave ourselves out, go get cake, be that genius, and talk to each other about it, all right? So, weave.
Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together and let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on
light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay, God! Yay, us!
I have one announcement I forgot. This guy's been living in his zone of genius for 30 years. David Serta is going to be inducted into the LGBTQ Hall of Fame on Wednesday night at 5:30. Where is it? Where is it going to be? Okay, the Chicago, go talk to him. But 5:30, we'll put it on, we'll put it in the blast. Where is it? The Chicago History Museum, Wednesday night at 5:30. Go honor David. Yes.